Righty ho. I've got lots of some bits for this fella. Now this fella's going to be pretty. Most of it come from lovely fellas at 6mm. They gave me some stickers. They look fancy, and I put them up on the sides in this little workstation where all the rest of my stickers are. I'll go through some of the bits we got. Oh, look at that. Fancy. Got a 5KU mag. Well, that's pretty. Got the quantum hop wrapper there. I actually got this off AliExpress, and I'm pretty sure it's a real one. I've got the AEG versions from sources that I know are real ones, but I can't see anything out of the ordinary that tells me that that's not a real one. And I got 3 for the same price I'd get 2, and I needed 2 at the moment, so I got a spare one. I got a mount for the back here, Picatinny mount if I want to put the red dot on. Or another thing I found on AliExpress, believe it or not, a nice aluminium one. It is actually a plate to screw stuff into, and it seems quite substantial. I was tutoring with this yesterday, and it seems like it will work nicely. To go with that, I was hoping this would fit, but turns out that this is a fake one. But anyway, the Trigicon RMR, the bolts are too wide for these holes, and they overlap, so I can't even drill other holes and tap them or anything silly like that. So I'll figure that out. I've got another dot that I can put on there, but I'm probably just going to end up using this one rather than this one, and just buy a different site that fits on there. I found another site that fits on there, but it's not here. Yeah, it's not here. It's very good. It's whatever. For the bolt, I got this lightweight 5KU one. It's not the ultra lightweight one. It's like the in-between one. I'll put that on the budget set of scales I got and see how much that actually weighs comparative to that bolt. This gun was doing funny stuff in cold-ish weather where it wasn't cycling. I think I've since found out it might have actually been the hammer set that was starting to break. I've also got a lovely TTI hammer set. I've got a lovely AAP hop unit. I know this is a slightly more out of date, but it's fine. It'll work. It does exactly what I want it to do, and it's going to have easy adjustment and installation, all that sort of shit. And because I'm actually using the Action Army receiver set, I figured why not go with them, because if anyone's going to have good tolerance for screw holes, it should be the own brand, and if not, then I'll be very sad. Looks like the screw set's coming out from in behind there, but that's okay. I've got one of these in my carbine version of my AAP, which works really well, but I also got this V2 one. I'm gonna take the nozzle out and just see if I can feel if there's any actual difference between these two. I know that one works mint, and I haven't tried that one, so I'll see which one I like the feel of better to put into this. I also got some short strokes. Don't know if I'll use 1 or 2. I still want lock back because this is a secondary for my my DMR when I'm playing a bit more high power. I got the spring for the nozzle valve, the gas relative valve, because my carbine version, it had, for when I first got it secondhand, but the spring that was in there, I actually ended up finding out it was actually compressed, and what I did to fix it was stretch it back. It was fluctuating between like 100 FPS per shot because that was compressed for whatever reason. And I have since found out that those stock ones are not the greatest. I don't know if this is going to put power up or down, but it probably is negligible with the barrel and all the gas and stuff. Nozzle return spring. Got a barrel. This is just I think it's a steel barrel. It's the 6mm's brand. It seems a little bit cheap, but I'm sure it will be fine for a secondary. This only has to reach 20 meters, but it'll probably go like 50 meters because everything at one drill generally does. And I got this lovely trigger. And the main reason I chose this lovely trigger, and the main reason that this here has the paint job that it does, is because it goes with my primary when I'm going DMR, which is this lovely boy here. Very pretty. But his sling's getting snagged on stuff. And you can see it's a nice aluminium red anodized trigger, flat with a little hooky bit at the front. So this will basically match color scheme wise, which I think is really, really pretty. Now what I'm going to do for now is I'm going to put all these parts back to one side. I'm going to start working on the gun, because why the fuck not, you know? Just a few things here. This is how to make your $200 gun like cost like fucking 6 times as much as what it should do. Because why not, eh? Everybody fucking starts with these uppers. I say fuck that. I'm gonna start with my lower, because no one starts with lowers. No. Where's my punch gone? There it is. Righty-ho. Guess we'll punch the pins out. This is not going to be a very informative video. This is just mostly going to be me doing this because I like watching people on the internet, random people on the internet building their AAPs and other guns and whatnot. And I figured I'm sure other people would like to watch this sort of stuff, just doing like a full build kind of thing. I'm just going to pop that out of there so we don't fucking lose that. I'm going to pop that hammer housing and set in there, and there's the pins. Now I'm also going to have to take out this bugger. One thing you can do on these, which I might do on this one, is actually remove the parts that make this safety function, because you don't need them unless you want the safety to function. But I'm going to have the upgraded trigger in there, so it's not going to work anyway. Don't know if you can mod them to make them work, but honestly I don't know why you would on this thing. See that one? Yeah, 2 mil. Let's get all the screws out of here. I think these probably have some Loctite on them. It's definitely got paint on them from the paint job, that's for sure. Yeah, it looks like I put a little bit of Loctite on them as well, just blue stuff. I like blue Loctite. I don't use a lot. I just, you know, you just use a little bit on your threads. Just a little bit. You don't need lots. Oh, I can never remember which fucking way this thing comes out. This thing always is annoying. I'm sure it comes out this way. Let's see if I got it wrong. I think that is the first time I've ever taken that out the correct direction. Right, and we just got this one pin here. And then all of this should come out. Look at that. Beautiful. And then other than this button and your mag release, that is fully stripped. We get the little spring off of there out of the road. These little fellas here, I can't remember if I tweaked it on this one. I know I did on my carbine. Got some skin hanging off there. I ended up finding on the carbine that this spring was too strong, so it was holding this down when the mags were trying to lift it up, so it wasn't actually catching on the slide lock. So all I did was you know, I bent it a bit together a little bit, just enough so it does actually pull this down, but that's it, only enough to pull this down. And I've never had it fire and come up and actually lock open before they were empty. Never had that happen. So yeah, look at that, these fellas here, I'm pretty sure you can just poke that through there. There we go. They're not even really attached, so you can just remove those. We'll put them in the not going to be used pile. Right, I guess we can start with the trigger. Let me find the trigger in the box of parts. Here we are. Clean your stuff as you go, you know, get a little brush, you know, give it a bit of a Get all the bits of dirt and shizer out of there. Now, lovely trigger bar. Should just be that one pin there. Like so. Look at that. Look at that. That's pretty, isn't it? Just sit that pin back in there if I can. There we go. That'll do. Yeah. Spare red painted trigger there if I ever need it, which will be fucking never. Right. Let's get this lovely looking trigger out of here. Doesn't that thing look pretty? Oh yeah, that looks really pretty. I like the look of that. They've actually given you 2 set screws for the over travel. They are slightly different lengths looking at that. Well, man, I'm just going to get rid of rubbish as I go. Don't need fucking packaging. I don't know why people keep packaging. I used to when I was younger, but usually on like big bulk items like consoles and shit. Now I just like, fuck that. I can't be bothered having all that stuff laying around all the time. I just get rid of all of that sort of shit now. Now, I wonder if that's gonna... Normally we press those in that way. Yeah, I'm gonna try push him in that way as well. I don't know if it really matters that much. See if I can just push it. Or if it's gonna... No, I can just push it looking at that. Oh, it takes a little bit of strength to just force that in, but it does go. Look at that. Beautiful. It is sitting slightly proud. I might give it a little tap. Screwdriver hammer. That is not sitting proud anymore. One little love tap. Isn't that pretty? Oh man, that trigger looks so nice. Right. These will need Loctite on them. I will probably come back and Loctite them when I'm ready to actually adjust the trigger. But just for now, I shall put this in here. These are a lot easier to put in this way. Then you can actually just adjust them through through here when they're split. So much easier this way. I don't know why people go the other way and struggle trying to get through the trigger guard. Just set him over there. That'll be right. I don't know if I need the long one or the short one for the standard grip. I might start with the short one and see where we end up. If I have to swap it out, I will. But we'll just start with that fella and see where it ends up. This is probably going to end up being quite a long video. I don't care. I'm just having fun. I've been waiting like a month for all these parts to come in. It's the only sad part. I don't know if they actually like shipped all of this stuff when I first ordered it. It didn't seem like they did for a couple weeks. I don't know if that's a common thing with 6mm or not, but whatever. Doesn't bother me too much, hey? Right, I don't think there's anything else. No, there's nothing else I want to do on these parts. So now the fun part of putting this little fella back together. It's not too hard to do. We'll get this guy. Honestly, the hardest thing to do in this whole gun is put that damn spring on the hammer and push the pin through. That is the hardest job to do on this gun. It is such a pain. I don't know why I struggle so much with that. I don't think it's bad technique or anything like that. It's just, I just find that one thing difficult. I haven't actually done this for a little while, so Be with me. Da-da-da-da-da. Yeah, that's not working. Can't remember how I did this last time. Sure, from memory, I just set all these parts together and just sort of dropped it in. That way around? No, that way around. Oh, come on. You know, fast forward for 2 secs until I get this back together. Righty ho, now I've got all that front end there back together. Trigger pull works. You can do that just by holding down the trigger bar when you haven't got your hammer set in there. Mag catch returns itself back. It's all good. Safety does not work anymore because I removed the bits out of there because I just like fiddling with this button sometimes and not have it do anything. If you've got your trigger set back, you can't actually put the safety on it. It's a fidget toy. It really is just a fidget toy for me. Now, for the hammer set. This fella. But, guess what? Here's one I prepared earlier. This already had the TTI in there. I was saying before that I believe my problem with the hammer and what this thing was doing when it was cold was it was more or less just not wanting to cycle. I think what was actually happening is when this started to break off, because I actually finished it off, I didn't let it break inside the gun. I think what it was doing was actually allowing this cam to come around further than what it normally would. And in the cold, it was not actually letting the bolt come back far enough because it was trying to pull this around further and the bolt was just getting hung up on it. It just, the lower gas pressure from the colder weather, which isn't that cold really, it's only like 10 degrees, 12 degrees Celsius, that is, not freedom fucking units, because we're not in the football fields here. But yeah, I'm pretty sure that's what the problem was that it just could not overcome that extra spring pressure from needing to push that down. So far, this seems to have fixed that problem. I've got the second one because it's got to go in the carbine. That one, it hasn't been gamed for a while because I'm worried it's going to break at any moment. It's been looking like that for ages. That's okay. We'll put that back in there and be careful not to, ping that out. Now, when you've got adjustable triggers and they're actually adjusted, you can't get this trigger bar to come up to put this in or take this out. So a really simple thing to do, which a lot of people overlook, is that adjuster screw that's down in here for the trigger, it's down in there, just take the screw out or like loosen it off to the point where this can come out when you're trying to disassemble it. It does mean that you have to Loctite and reset that screw each time you do this, but it's just so much easier than pulling the whole gun apart. Just a little bit of Loctite, just let it sit for a bit. If you've got good Loctite, you don't have a problem. But like, look at how easy that was. Trigger bar up, just put that there. It just sits in that groove. All you do is you just drop it down into place. Look at that, how easy is that? It's like retardedly easy. I don't know why people struggle with that. I don't know why people don't want to lose their adjustment on that grub screw. It's not like it's hard to get to. Look at that. Quick function of the proper way. That one, that one, that one, that one. Hell yeah. We'll get to adjusting that in a little bit. Now, what's left to do on this fella, on the lower? It's basically just this fella. Lovely, lovely, lovely little mag weld. I don't know what it is. I don't know anyone. Actually, I shouldn't lie about that. I know one person that doesn't like mag welds, which, ooh, that looks pretty. Which is my brother, actually. He's a weird fella, and he doesn't like mag welds, and I don't know why. Like, literally, I don't really care too much about them for mag insertion. I care more about them because I got big chunky hands, and it stops my fingers going over the edge. And I find them a lot more comfortable on the grip. Don't pull your trigger like that or you'll lose all your gas in your mag. That's no magwell. And that is magwell, which I think looks really nice. This is the 5KU type 1. Just because I like the style of it more than type 2 or whatever other ones they have. And these things look stupidly simple to install. I'm going to Loctite that and put a decent amount of Loctite on there because it's pretty much never going to come off, and I don't want it to ever come off. Now, is that screw a blind hole or does it go right through? It goes right through. If you, what I mean is that hole goes all the way through. A blind holes don't. They got like material in the back. If you've got a blind hole, most of the time your thread lock won't actually go down in the hole. You will get some and it will probably work, but the best thing to do then is get something really small and actually just put some on the threads inside the blind hole, and then you will know for sure that it's actually locked up. You will know for surezies. That is a decent amount of Loctite on there too. Like, that's enough to get it undone without too much hassle, but that is a decent amount of Loctite. There's another thing that I might actually utilize on this. This actually has a sling point. So I could get one of those bloody pistol slings so I don't lose this thing in the bush. That I might actually do that. Oh man, that looks pretty already, doesn't it? Let's put that back together. Oh, that's looking so much cooler than it did before. Just this looking simple magwell and a trigger. Beautiful. Some stock performance right there. Right, there's not much more we can do with that lower now. That's pretty much it. This is not a crazy build. This is just doing stuff to keep this look and function and longevity of parts. Time for this fella now.